यह ओम का झंडा आता है, यह ओम का झंडा आता है। सोने वालों जाग चलो, सोने वालों जाग चलो। यह ओम का झंडा आता है, यह ओम का झंडा आता है। सोने वालों जाग चलो, सोने वालों जाग चलो। लेकर उगती रवि की लाली, लेकर उगती रवि की लाली, ले नित्य वसंती हरियाली, ले नित्य वसंती हरियाली। यह ले ले लहरे आता है, यह ले ले लहरे आता है। धरती को जागे भाग चलो, सोने वालों जाग चलो। यह ओम का झंडा आता है, यह ओम का झंडा आता है। सोने वालों जाग चलो, सोने वालों जाग चलो। जब गोली गोले बरसेंगे, जब गोली गोले बरसेंगे, ये सिर कट कट कर सरसेंगे, ये सिर कट कट कर सरसेंगे। हम मौत के भीषण आंगन में, हम मौत के भीषण आंगन में, हंस हंस खेलेंगे भाग चलो। सोने वालों जाग चलो, यह ओम का झंडा आता है, यह ओम का झंडा आता है। सोने वालों जाग चलो, सोने वालों जाग चलो। पर्वत को कह दो नम जाए, पर्वत को कह दो नम जाए, सागर को कह दो थम जाए, सागर को कह दो थम जाए। यह एक बनाने दुनिया को, यह एक बनाने दुनिया को, उमड़ है अनुराग चलो। सोने वालों जाग चलो, यह ओम का झंडा आता है, यह ओम का झंडा आता है। सोने वालों जाग चलो, सोने वालों जाग चलो। अब प्रेम सच्चाई वेद्या का, अब प्रेम सच्चाई वेद्या का, यह झंडा लहराया बाका, यह झंडा लहराया बाका। हिंसा पखंड विद्या से, हिंसा पखंड विद्या से, कह दो अब तुम भाग चलो, सोने वालों जाग चलो। यह ओम का झंडा आता है, यह ओम का झंडा आता है। सोने वालों जाग चलो, सोने वालों जाग चलो, सोने वालों जाग चलो।
Namaste. I now call upon Pandita Jasodhra Raghbir Singh to chant the mantra for the lighting of the memorial diyas. I invite Mrs. Ramsamoj, wife of the late Acharya Pandit Sukhdev Ramsamoj, and Kumari Vidya Ramachala, secretary of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha of Trinidad, to light the ceremonial diyas.
Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
At this point, I call on Pandit Jiwan Singh to do the Rastragan.
Om. We offer the following prayer to God for peace, prosperity, and all-round development to our nation. Om. Brahman Brahmano Brahmavarchasi Jayatam Arashtre Rajanyaha Shura Ishvavyoti Vyadhi Maharatho Jayatam Dogri Dhenurvodha Nadvanashu Saptahi Purandhiryosha Jishnu Rateshtaha Shabhe Yuvyasya Yajam Anasya Virojayatam Nikame Nikame Naha Parjanyo Varshatu Phalavat na Oshadhaya Pachyantam Yogakshemo Nah Kalpatam. O God, let there be born in our country the Brahmana, illustrious for the knowledge of the Vedas, the Kshatriya, heroic and skilled mighty warriors to battle against their enemies, the cows giving abundant milk, the ox carrying heavy loads, the woman skilled in domestic and industrial affairs. May this sacrifice be blessed with healthy, heroic, civilized, intelligent sons and daughters. May clouds send rain according to our desire, and may our fruit-bearing trees ripen. May acquisition and preservation of property be secured to us. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Namaste. We will now have the officiating Pandita, Pandita Jasodhra Ragbir Singh, to commence the Hawan ceremony.
Okay, I'll now ask Pandit Jiwan Singh to do the Sankalp.
Om Tat Sat Sri Brahmano Brahmani Prahavardhe Vaivaswate Manvantare Ashtavinshati Tame Kalyuge Kali Pratham Acharane Asmin Uttarayan Asmin Samvatsare 2021 Asmin Maase Palgun Asmin Shukla Pakshe Asmin Deshe Ravivar Chatur Dashan Palgun Asmin Grame Carolina Mandir Asmin Nagare Kuva Asmin Deshe Trinidad Asmin Itish Shastra Sampaditam Ya Havan Yajne Rishi Bodh Utsav Arya Pratinidhi Sabha Kriyate. With the thought of Om in the second quarter of the day of Brahma, in this Vaivaswata Manvantara, in this 28th Kali Yuga, in the first quarter of this present Kali Yuga, in the year 2021, as the sun appears to be moving in an upward direction, in the month of March, in the bright fortnight, on this Sunday 14th, in Carolina Mandir, Kuva, Trinidad. This Havan Yajna Rishi Bodh Utsav, held by the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha of Trinidad, now commenced. Namaste.
Namaste. We begin this auspicious celebration by giving thanks to Paramatma. आज मिल सब गीत गाओ, उस प्रभु के धन्यवाद. Let us all give thanks to that Supreme Being, whose glory is sung daily by pious learned men. आज मिल सब गीत गाओ, उस प्रभु के धन्यवाद, जिसका यश नित गाते हैं गण, धर्वगुण जन धन्यवाद. आज मिल सब गीत गाओ, उस प्रभु के धन्यवाद. Let us all bring ourselves into a prayerful mood. As we prepare to communicate with our Creator, Paramatma. Om is the highest name of God in Sanskrit. It is also a great mantra. Chanting of Om helps to calm the mind and sanctify the breath. As we utter the name Om and keep repeating that thought within us, it sets up a vibration that invokes the presence of God. When the ether is surcharged with the vibrations of the divine name, the entire environment gets purified. Those who breathe the sanctified air will have pure thoughts. Let us prepare for chanting of Om 3 times, followed by the opening prayer. Shanu Mitra Shan Varuna Shanu Bhavad Varyama Shan Indru Brihaspati Shanu Vishnu Rurukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadasyami Ritam Vadasyami Satyam Vadasyami Tanamam Avatu Tadvaktaram Avatu Avatu mam avatu vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May you, O Supreme Being, friend of all, the holiest of all, and controller of the universe, be merciful unto us. May you, Almighty One, Lord of the universe and support of all, endow us with knowledge and power. May you, omnipresent and omnipotent Being, shower your blessings all around us. We bow unto you, most powerful and supreme Being. You alone are the omniscient one, whom we feel within our hearts. We will call you and you alone the true one. Your will is truly revealed in the Vedas. Will we obey and preach? We will be truthful in word, deed, and thought. You are our shelter. May you protect us who study and contemplate your nature, who speak only the truth, so that our understanding may be firm in your will and never turn away from it. Your will is truth and righteousness. That which is contrary to your will is untruth and unrighteousness. May you again shelter and protect us. O Lord, be merciful and grant this our prayer, for which we shall feel ever and ever grateful. Let there be peace in the heavenly regions, in the middle regions, and on earth. Ishwar Stuti, Meditation of the Divine. We'll read the English translation for the first mantra and the last mantra. Om Vishwani Deva Savitar Duritani Parasuva Yad Bhadrantana Asuva. O radiant divinity, cause of all manifestations in the universe, remove all evils from us and endow us with all that is noble. Om Hiranya Garbha Samavartatagre Bhutasya Jatah Patireka Asit Sadadhar Prithivim Dyamute Mam Kasmai Devaya Havisha Vidhema. Om Ya Atmada Baladayasya Vishwa Upasate Prashisham Yasya Deva Yasya Chayamritam Yasya Mrityu Kasmai Devaya Havisha Vidhema. Om Yah Pranato Nimishato Mahitvaika
इद्राजा जगतो बभूव य ईशे अस्य द्विपदश्चतुष्पदः तस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ॐ येन जौदुग्रा पृथिवी च दृढा येन स्वहस्तभितं येन नाकः यो अन्तरिक्षे रजसो विमानः कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ॐ प्रजापते नत्वदेतान्यन्यो विश्वा जातानि परिता बभूव यत्कामास्ते जुहुमस्तनो अस्तु वयं स्याम पतयोरयीनाम्। ॐ सनो बन्धुर्जनिता स विधाता धामानि वेद भुवनानि विश्वा यत्र देवा अमृतमानशानास् तृतीये धामनध्यैरयन्त। ॐ अग्ने नय सुपथाराय अस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् युयोध्यस्मज्जुहुरार्णमेनो भूयिष्ठान्ते नम उक्तिं विधेम। O self-effulgent being, all holy and know of all things, lead us through the path of goodness to prosperity and knowledge, and keep us away from evil deeds. To achieve this end, may we always contemplate your divine nature and be always happy. Atha Swasti Vachanam, prayers for bliss and prosperity. Om Agnimide Purohitam Yajnasya Devam Ritvijam Hotaram Ratnadhatamam. Om Sanah Piteva Sunavegne Supayano Bhava Sacha Swanah Swastaye. Om Swasti no Mimitam Ashvina Bhagah Swasti Devya Ditiranarvanah Swasti Pusha Asuru Dadhatunah Swasti Dhyava Prithivi Suchetuna. Om Swastaye Vayumupabravamahe Sumam Swasti Bhuvanasya Yaspati Brihaspatim Sarvaganam Swastaye Swastaya Aditya Subhavantunah. Om Vishwe Devano Vadhya Swastaye Vaishwanaro Vasuragni Swastaye Deva Avantari Bhava Swastaye Swasti no Rudra Patvam Hasa. Om Swasti Mitra Varuna Swasti Pathaye Revati Swasti na Indrashchagnascha Swasti no Adite Kridhe. Om Swasti Pantha Manuchare Masurya Chandramasa Viva Punardadatagnata Janata Sangame Mahe. May we follow the path of welfare as the sun and moon unswervingly revolve in their orbits. May we associate with those who are learned, pious, charitable, and non-violent. Atha Shanti Prakaranam, we pray that peace come to us from all directions. Om Shana Indragni Bhavatam Avobhi Shana Indra Varuna Ratahavya Shamindra Soma Suvitaya Shanyo Shana Indra Pushana Vajasata. Om Shano Bhagah Shamuna Shansuvastu Shana Purandhi Shamu Santuraya Shana Satyasya Suyamasya Shansaha Shana Aryama Purujato Astu. Om Shano Dhata Shamudhartano Astu Shana Uruchi Bhavatu Swadhabhi Shanrodasi brihati shano adri shano devanam suhavani santu. Om shano agnirjyotiraniko astu shano mitra varuna vashvinasham shanah sukritam sukritani santu shana ishiru abhivatu vatah. Om shano dhyava prithivi purvahuta shamantariksham drishayeno astu shana ushadhirvanino bhavantu shano rajasaspatirastu jishnu. Om shana indro vasurbhirdevo astu shamaditye varuna sushansah shano rudro rudrabhirjalasha shamnasvastadna birihashinotu. Om shanah sumo bhavatu brahmashanah shano gravarnah shamusantu yajnah shanah swarunamitayo bhavantu shanah prasva shamavastu vedi. May the all peaceful one give us peace. May our religious undertakings bring us peace. May the plants and vegetables bring us peace. May the oblations in this Vedi bring us peace. Achman mantra, symbolical purification. Om Amrito Pasternamisi Swaha. May this water bring happiness to all. Om Amrita Pidhanamisi Swaha. O immortal one, you are the eternal support of all. Om Satyam Yashaha Shri Shritam Swaha. May true action, fame, wealth, and honor be always with us. Angsparsh mantra. We now ask God to strengthen the different parts of our bodies for the performance of good work, for the benefit of ourselves and the entire creation. We touch the various parts from right to left. Om Vangmasistu. Om Nisud me Pranustu. Om Akshanor me Chakshurastu. Om Karnayor me Shrotramastu. Om Bahvor me Balamastu. Om Urvor me Ojustu. Om Adistani me Gani Tanustanva me Sahasantu. May all parts of our bodies be coherently healthy. Agnidhan mantra. We now kindle the fire. Om Bhur-Bhuvah Swaha. Om Bhur-Bhuvah Swajareva Bhumna Pritaviva Varimna. Tasyaste Prithivi Deva Yajni Prishtagni Manad Manadhyayadadhe. We fan the fire. Om Udbhudya Swagne Pratijagrihi Tvamishta Purte Sagvam Shijethamayam Cha. Asmin Sarhastya Dhyutarasmin Vishwe Deva Yajmanascha Sidita. Samidadhan mantra. We now make offering with the Samidha. Om Ayanta Idma Atma Jata Vedhaste Nidhya Swavardha Swacheda Vardhya Chasman Prajaya Pashubhir Brahma Varchase Nanadye Nisamedhya Swaha Idamagne Jata Vedase Dannamama Om Samidhagnim Duvasyata Gritai Bodhaya Tatitim Asmin Havya Jahutana Om Susamidhaya Sochase Gritam Tivram Jahutana Agne Jata Vedase Swaha Idam Agne Jata Vedase Dannamama Om Tantva Samid Bhirangido Gritena Vardhyamasi Briha Chochaya Vishtaya Swaha Idam Agne Angirase Dannamama. Grita Huti mantra. We chant this mantra 5 times. In this mantra we are praying, O all-pervading one, I offer myself to you as I offer this fuel to the fire. May you enlighten me in greater and greater measure as this fire grows with the application of fuel. May you enable me by the help of true knowledge to attain physical and spiritual well-being. Om Ayantayadma Atma Jatavedhaste Nedhya Swavardha Swacheda Vardhya Chasman Prajaya Pashubir Brahma Varchase Nanadyen Samedaya Swaha Idamagne Jatavedase Danamama Om Ayantayadma Atma Jatavedhaste Nedhya Swavardha Swacheda Vardhya Chasman Prajaya Pashubir Brahma Varchase Nanadyen Samedaya Swaha Idam Agne Jata Vedase Danamama Om Ayanta Idma Atma Jata Vedhaste Nedhya Swavardha Swacheda Vardhya Chasman Prajaya Pashubir Brahma Varchase Nanadyen Samedaya Swaha Idam Agne Jata Vedase Danamama Om Ayanta Idma Atma Jata Vedhaste Nedhya Swavardha Swacheda Vardhya Chasman Prajaya Pashubir Brahma Varchase Nanadyen Samedaya Swaha Idam Agne Jata Vedase Danamama Om Ayanta Idma Atma Jata Vedhaste Nedhya Swavardha Swacheda Vardhya Chasman Prajaya Pashubir Brahma Varchase Nanadyen Samedaya Swaha Idam Agne Jata Vedase Danamama. Jal Prasechan Mantra. We now sprinkle water to the east, west, north, and then all around. Om Adite Numanyaswa, Om Anumate Numanyaswa, Om Saraswatya Numanyaswa, Om Deva Savita Prasuvaya Jam Prasuvaya Japatim Bhagaya, Devyu Gandharva Ketapu Ketanaha Punatu Vachaspati Vachanaha Swadatu. Continue with the offering of the key to the north, south, and then middle. Om Agnaye Swaha Idam Agnaye Danamama Om Sumaya Swaha Idam Sumaya Idanamama Om Prajapate Swaha Idam Prajapate Idanamama Om Indraya Swaha Idam Indraya Idanamama Om Bhuragnaye Swaha Idam Agnaye Idanamama Om Bhuvarvayave Swaha Idam Vayave Idanamama Om Swaradityaya Swaha Idam Adityaya Idanamama Om Bhurubhuva Swaragni Vayavadityebhyah Swaha Idam Agni Vayavadityebhyah Idanamama. We now do the Pauman mantras where we make offering with the key alone. Om Bhur Swaha Agnayum Shipavasa Asuvorjamisham Chanaha Are Badhaswa Duchunam Swaha Idam Agne Pavamanaya Idannamama. God is existent, conscious, and all blissful. By His grace, may the fire be the means of protection for us. May it give us strength and grains and keep away from all evils. Om Bhur-Bhuvah Swaha Agni-Rishi Pavamanah Panchajanyah Puruhitah Tamimahe Mahagayam Swaha Idam Agne Pavamanaya Idannamama. God is existent, conscious, soul blissful. It is by His grace that this fire becomes the source of our seeing. It is the best fire applicable in yajna. It is present in everything from the very beginning, and may we know to utilize this powerful element in our work. Om Bhur-Bhuvah Swaha Agni Pavaswa Swapa Asme Varchaha Suviryam Dadhad Raimai Posham Swaha Idam Agnaye Pavamanaya Idannamama. God is existent, conscious, and blissful. By His grace may this fire, which serves multifarious purposes, be in the source of wealth and energy for us, give us strength and physical radiancy. Om Bhur-Bhuvah Swaha Prajapate Natvadetanyanyo Vishwajata Niparita Babhuva Yat Kamaste Juhumastanno Astu Vayam Syam Patayorayinam Swaha Idam Prajapate Idannamama. God is existent, conscious, and all blissful. May this fire used in yajna be the means of fulfilling our aspirations for which we enkindle it, and may we be the possessors of all kinds of riches and knowledge.
Svishtakrit Ahuti Mantra. In this mantra we pray, whatever excesses or shortcomings I have committed, I now commend to the Almighty and seek His rectification thereof, for my material and spiritual well-being. I make this oblation in the name of the self-effulgent being, who purifies us and enables us to fulfill our desires. May our desires be fulfilled, and may our speech be ever truthful. I have made this wish in the full knowledge that I have no claim to its fulfillment. Om Yadasya Karmano Tyariricham Yadvanyunamihakaram Agnishtat Swishtakrit Vidyat Sarvam Swishtam Suhutam Karotu Me Agnaye Swishtakrite Sahutahute Sarva Prayas Chetahutinam Kamanam Samardhayitre Sarvanah Kamanta Samardhaya Swaha Idam Agnaye Swishtakrite Idannamama. Prajapatya Huti Mantra. We make offering with all oblation, with all ingredients. Om Swaha Idam Prajapati Dhanamama. Pratah Kalki Mantra. And we'll do the morning and evening mantras. Om Surya Jyotir Jyoti Surya Swaha. Om Surya Varcha Jyotir Varcha Swaha. Om Jyoti Surya Surya Jyoti Swaha. Om Sajur Devena Savitra Sajur Rosha Sandra Vatya Joshanah Surya Vetu Swaha. Sayankal ki mantra. Om Agnir Jyotir Jyotir Agni Swaha. Om Agnir Varcha Jyotir Varcha Swaha. Om Swaha. Om Sajur Devena Savitra Sajur Ratrindra Vatya Joshano Agnir Vetu Swaha. Sayam Pratah ki mantra. Om Bhuragnaye Pranaya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Pranaya Idannamama. Om Bhuvadvayave Panaya Swaha. Idam Vayave Panaya Idannamama. Om Swaradityaya Vyanaya Swaha. Idam Adityaya Vyanaya Idannamama. Om Bhur Bhuvah Swaragni Vayavadityebhyah
प्राणपानव्यानेभ्यः स्वाहा इदम् अग्निवायवादित्येभ्यः प्राणपानव्यानेभ्यः इदन्न मम ॐ आपो ज्योतिरसोमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवः स्वरो स्वाहा मेधां देवगणाः पितरश्चोपासते तया मामध्य मेध्य अग्ने मेधविनं कुरु स्वाहा ॐ विश्वानि देव सवितर्दुरितानि परासुव यद्भद्रन्तन आसुव स्वाहा ॐ अग्ने नय सुपथाराय अस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् युयोध्यस्मज्जुहुरानमेनो भूयिष्ठान्ते नम उक्तिं विधेम स्वाहा. Pratijahuti mantra. In this mantra we pray, O self-effulgent being, Lord of the holy ordinances, I shall observe the vow of truthfulness in thought, word, and deed. May you enable me to successfully observe this vow of truthfulness. Om Agne Vratpate Vratam Charishyami Tate Prapravimi Tachakeyam Te Nardhya Samidamaham Manvitat Satyam Upaimi Swaha Idam Agne Dannamama. Gayatri mantra. Let us all put our hands together as we chant this mantra 3 times. Om Bhur-Bhuvah Swaha Tatsavitur-Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhur-Bhuvah Swaha Tatsavitur-Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhur-Bhuvah Swaha Tatsavitur-Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat Swaha. Namaskar mantra. We acknowledge you, O peaceful being, the eternal source of joy and happiness. We acknowledge you, O giver of peace and spiritual well-being. We acknowledge you, O blissful oneness, still more blissful being, who fulfills our material and spiritual desires. Ever and evermore do we acknowledge and recognize you. Om Namah Shambhavaya Cha Mayobhavaya Cha Namah Shankaraya Cha Mayaskaraya Cha Namah Shivaya Cha Shivataraya Cha Swaha. Let us all now put our hands towards the fire as we take the energy from the fire and we pray, O Lord, please bless us with happy long lives. Please bless us with strong, healthy bodies. Please remove from our bodies all ailments and weaknesses that lie therein. O Lord, please bless us with abundant knowledge. Om Tanupagnesi Tanvame Pahi. Om Ayurda Agnesya Ayurme Dehi. Om Varchoda Agnesi Varcho Me Dehi. Om Agne Yanme Tanva Unam Tanma Aprina. Om Medha Me Deva Savita Adadhatu. Om Medha Me Devi Saraswati Adadhatu. Om Medha Me Ashwina Deva Vadhatam Pushkarasraja. Gayatri mantra once more with translation. Om Bhur-Bhuvah Swaha Tatsavitur-Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. हे दयालु परमात्मन, आप अपनी असीम कृपा से हमारी सदा रक्षा करते हैं। आप ही हमारे जीवन आधार है। अपने सेवकों के दुखों को दूर करके उनको सुख देने वाले हैं। आप सर्वत्र सुप्रतिष्ठित और सुप्रसिद्ध हैं। आप सर्वोत्तम शुद्ध पवित्र और ज्ञान स्वरूप है। आपसे ही यह सारा जगत उत्पन्न हुआ है। आप ही सकल शुभ गुणों को खान है। आपका हम प्रतिदिन ध्यान करें और आप हमें विवेकशीलता, भावनावती मेध, सद्बुद्धि प्रदान करें। O Supreme Being, cause of all manifestations in the universe, source of existence, intelligence, and bliss, we meditate upon your adorable nature. May you illumine and inspire our intellect. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. This has brought us to the end of the Havan. Okay, at this time we do the Purnahuti mantra. Sorry about that. Om Sarvam Vai Purnam Swaha. Om Sarvam Vai Purnam Swaha. Om Sarvam Vai Purnam Swaha. This has brought us to the end of the Havan purification ceremony. At this time we will do another bhajan. रूप प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए। चोर देवे छल कपट को मानसिक बल दीजिए। रोग पीड़ित विश्व के संताप सब हरते रहे। यज्ञ रूप प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए। छोड़ देवे छल कपट को मानसिक बल दीजिए। भावना मिट जावे मन से पाप अत्याचार की। कामनाएं पूर्ण हुए यज्ञ से नर नारी की। लाभकारी हो हवन हर जीवधारी के लिए। वायु जल सर्वत्र हो शुभ गंध को धारण किए। स्वर्ग भाव मिटे हमारा प्रेम पथ विस्तार हो। इदन मम का सार्थक प्रत्येक में व्यवहार हो। यज्ञ रूप प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए। छोड़ देवे छल कपट को मानसिक बल दीजिए। हाथ जोड़ झुकाए मस्तक वंदना हम कर रहे। नाथ करुणा रूप करुणा आपकी सब पर रहे। यज्ञ रूप प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए। छोड़ देवे छल कपट को मानसिक बल दीजिए। मानसिक बल दीजिए। मानसिक बल दीजिए।
The path towards enlightenment for Swami Dayananda Saraswati. The enlightenment of Maharishi Swami Dayananda Saraswati, founder of the Arya Samaj, is marked by a special celebration each year, known as Rishi Bodh Utsav. Let us reflect today on why such celebrations are held. Is it for the benefit of the liberated soul of Swami Dayananda Saraswati? All such celebrations are for the benefit of mankind, They are designed to take our minds away from worldly matters and to focus on spirituality, to focus on Paramatma. They are designed for us to reflect on the path traveled by great souls so that we can follow in their footsteps, to help us find the right path in life that will lead us to find the truth of who we are, our relationship with God and the creation, and ultimately to achieve the state of enlightenment. Let us now reflect on the path that led to the enlightenment of Maharishi Swami Dayananda Saraswati. Awakening of spiritual urge. In 1838, on the night of Shivratri, Swami Dayananda, then called Mool Shankar, fasted and kept vigil with the hope of getting the darshan of Lord Shiva. He was told that fasting and keeping vigil during the night will bring him face to face with God. However, things happened contrary to his expectations. On this occasion of Shivratri, Mulji Swami Dayananda achieved two things. Firstly, a negative, that the idols are neither God nor the image of God. Secondly, a positive aspect, a strong urge to meet true God. This incident acted as a catalyst to speed up his progress towards the life of an aspirant. This incident was followed by the death of his sister, which was the first calamity in his life. The sorrow was appalling. What was Swamiji's reaction? And in Swamiji's own words, he said, "I stood mute like a stone and began to ponder. Oh, how short is our life. I shall also die someday. But is there no way by which I may be immune of death and may attain salvation? At the same place I took a vow that I will make an effort to conquer death. At this juncture, I became sure that outward demonstrations were all a humbug, and nothing but the purification of the soul was the way to salvation." This happened when Swami Dayananda Saraswati, then called Mulji, was 18 years of age. Soon after, another incident followed the death of his uncle. Swamiji's thoughts were, when all things in this world were perishable, why should I pass my days in their midst? Swami Dayananda had the free will like each of us to choose. He made a choice to better his life and not to become bitter because of his painful experiences. As we see, his experiences forced him into deep thinking and a long search for the truth about God and life. Was his search without obstacles? Swamiji had two choices. He had an easy path of homely life to choose from and the path of thorns. He chose the difficult path towards enlightenment. He met with painful experiences, encountered many difficulties, faced many obstacles, but was determined and fearless. He persevered until he achieved the goal. What we achieve by realizing God, in the words of Swami Dayananda Saraswati. The use of meditation is something similar to one experienced by a person shivering with cold and obtaining comfort on approaching a fire which removes his cold. In like manner, approach to God dispels all vice and suffering and purifies the nature and character and action of the soul.
and fills the soul with virtues similar to those of God. Therefore, it is very necessary to repeat the attributes of God, to pray to him, and to meditate on him. And he goes on to say, but there is another advantage to be got therefrom, namely, the soul will be so strong as to retain its presence of mind even in the midst of mountains of misery. The soul will be able to bear all up. And Swami Dayanand asks, is it a small benefit? His life was his message for us and for mankind. Life is a series of experiences, some sweet, some bitter. Man learns through experiences, and the spiritual path is full of different kinds of experiences. One will encounter many difficulties and obstacles, and they are the very experiences needed to encourage and complete the cleansing process. When the cleansing is finally complete, then the evolved souls will cease to react to anything. All emotions will be perfectly balanced. One will live in a state of permanent happiness, regardless of prevailing circumstances. This state was achieved by Maharishi Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Learn the lessons from your experiences and develop the qualities of sacrifice, determination, fearlessness, perseverance, forbearance, and humility. Ascend high, elevate thyself. Each new day presents new opportunities for transformation. We are the driver of our own life, and we can pilot our way through life, choosing our own path. That will lead us back to the source of peace and bliss, that is the spiritual path. What does Swamiji want for us? Swamiji wants for us moksha, liberation. Once he was told by another that because of his great work, he will be entitled to moksha in this very birth. To this Swamiji replied, what shall I do with moksha if I get it by myself? My earnest desire is that the people get it, and so to assist us along the path to enlightenment and moksha, Swami Dayanand Saraswati revived the Vedas. He called on his countrymen and the people of the world to go back to the Vedas for the unification of mankind. Swami Dayanand also formulated the 10 principles of the Arya Samaj for us to live by. His finding was that while the world has made much progress in material matters, those fundamental laws have been lost sight of on which the peace and prosperity of mankind is based. And I will end with a quotation taken from the Vedic life, and it says, unto lakh and lakh of his admirers, Swami Dayanand has left behind a message. If you are able to read into the depths of all that I preach and follow, believe me when I say that my soul will ever be hovering around you. Namaste, and thank you all very much.
Namaste. A short introduction of our Master of Ceremonies, hail from the community of Avocat in Faizabad, South Trinidad. He has been a teacher for the past 29 years and is attached to the Avocat Vedic School. He is currently serving on the executive of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha. I have pleasure in welcoming the Master of Ceremonies for Rishi Bodh Utsav 2021, Sri Rajesh Jagmohan.
Thank you very much, Srimati Pulo Sigulam, for your kind introduction. Our team song, Arya Samaj Hamara Hai, will be led by Srimati Devati Singh. Can we all stand?
Namaste. आर्य समाज हमारा है, प्राणों से भी प्यारा है। आर्य समाज हमारा है, प्राणों से भी प्यारा है। आर्य समाज हमारा है, प्राणों से भी प्यारा है, प्राणों से भी प्यारा है। वेदों का प्रचार करे, शुद्धाचार विचार करे। वेदों का प्रचार करे, शुद्धाचार विचार करे। मानवता से प्यार करे, यही इसका नारा है, यही इसका नारा है। आर्य समाज हमारा है, प्राणों से भी प्यारा है। ओम ध्वजा लहराएंगे, वेद कनार बजाएंगे। ओम ध्वजा लहराएंगे, वेद कनार बजाएंगे। आगे बढ़ते जाएंगे, आर्यों ने ललकारा है, आर्यों ने ललकारा है। आर्य समाज हमारा है, प्राणों से भी प्यारा है। सबको वीर पढ़ाएंगे, संध्या हवन सिखाएंगे। सबको वीर पढ़ाएंगे, संध्या हवन सिखाएंगे। सत्य प्रकाश से ही दूर होए अंधियारा है, दूर होए अंधियारा है। आर्य समाज हमारा है, प्राणों से भी प्यारा है। अमर रहे ये आर्य समाज, बिगड़े सभी संवारे काज। अमर रहे ये आर्य समाज, बिगड़े सभी संवारे काज। नंदलाल मानवता का यही एक रखवारा है, यही एक रखवारा है। आर्य समाज हमारा है, प्राणों से भी प्यारा है। आर्य समाज हमारा है, प्राणों से भी प्यारा 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 है।
Thank you very much, Srimati Devati Singh, for your beautiful rendition of this bhajan. President of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha, Shri Roshan Parasram Singh, Secretary of the APS, Kumari Vidya Ramachala, Secretary of the Vedic School Board of Management, Shri Ravi Rambaran, members of the Executive and the Pundits Council, our feature speaker, Professor Dr. Ravi Prakash Arya, artists, ladies and gentlemen, children. In a world of numerous challenges, uncertainty, and trials, a beacon of light, a ray of hope stands out in our effort to overcome these challenges. The universal teachings of the great Swami and founder of the Arya Samaj movement stands out. His vision and foresight has ushered in an era of uplifting society, restoring the sanctity of the Vedas and empowerment of all. Today, we join in solidarity with other Vedic organizations all over the globe in commemorating this momentous occasion. With these few words, I bid each and every one of you a warm and cordial welcome to our online viewers. We thank you for inviting us into your homes. We have an entertaining as well as informative program put together this morning. To open our program will be the young and talented Vishala Mahabir, a Standard 5 student of the Avocat Vedic School. She is a member of the Woodland Dance Academy for the past year and a half. Vishala will be accompanied by the song Ghar Moi Paradesiya from the movie Kalank. Let's put our hands together as we welcome Vishala on stage. Thank you very much, Vishala. We are indeed proud of you, and we appreciate your talent so much. Just to mention, Vishala's great-grandfather, the late Dipchan Mahatu, donated the lands on which the Avocat Vedic School stands today. He would be very proud of you indeed, Vishala. We have a small token for you, Vishala. Can you come forward, please? This is a small token of appreciation, Vishala, on behalf of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha for a job well done. Congratulations and thank you. Our next item will be delivered by our hard-working and committed head of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha, Shri Roshan Parasram Singh, who will deliver the President's message.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Question: why am I here? This is probably one of the most commonly asked questions that we all face. Little do we know that this question resonates from our true self, which gently takes us beyond the world of appearances to discover our inner divinity. The answer is simple. You manifest in a physical form to fulfill a life purpose that only you can complete, your dharma. Finding your dharma can be a little more work, but once you figure it out, you can experience complete fulfillment and bliss. Vedic educators from the Chopra Center have exponentially purported that when you live in the harmonious flow of dharma, the entire field of pure potentiality opens to you. You are able to create as much happiness and moksha as you want because you are aligned with the domain of spirit, the unlimited source of all manifestation. We here in Trinidad must aspire to this domain of thought if we wish to walk the path of dharma. My dearest devotees, pandits, panditas, executive members, members of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha, the listening and viewing public, our distinguished guest speaker, Professor Dr. Ravi Prakash Arya, Namaste. It is with great exuberance and gratification that I welcome each one of you on behalf of the APS Executive to a virtual Rishi Bodh Utsav 2021. The enlightenment of our founder of the Arya Samaj movement, Maharishi Swami Dayananda Saraswati, a quest to find truth and God. Maharishi Swami Dayananda advocated for Dharma all his life. Dharma is a Sanskrit word that loosely translates to righteousness living, but the original word itself has a far deeper meaning than its direct translation. The ancient Hindu texts of the Vedas describe Dharma as an inner wisdom or a cosmic guidance that governs not only the individual but the universe itself. Swamiji was born in a Brahmin family and given the name Mool Shankar Tiwari. As a young boy, he attended Mandir with his father, who was a follower of Lord Shiva. The defining moment of his religious transformation was on the occasion of Maha Shivatri night. On one Maha Shivatri celebration, while he was about 12 years old, he kept the custom of observing fasts and waking on the night in order to have a vision of Lord Shiva as he was promised by his father. Longing to have a darshan of God, he stayed up all night on a vigil to the obeisance to Lord Shiva, and it was on this night, due to a poor explanation for an event, that changed his thinking about religious truth. Having an ardent desire to see the real Shiva, this Shivatri turned out to be a turning point in Swamiji's life and ultimately resulted in the exception of Arya Samaj by Rishi Dayanand. After his enlightenment, he devoted all his life and energies to propagate knowledge of the Vedas to socially uplift the society. The attributes of God and what caused the Maharishi to begin his quest for truth of the divinity. This simple event began the world's largest quest for truth, which sparked the world's greatest Hindu revival. His relentlessness quest to find God, to unravel the miseries of life and death is unparalleled to his world. During Swamiji, as an adult, he devoted himself in finding spiritual truth. It was during his speech he met a religious leader, Swami Virjanand, who accepted him as his disciple and who taught him the Vedas, Sanskrit grammar, and the philosophy of Sanatan Vedic Dharma. His ideas became real when he founded the Arya Samaj and the 10 principles of this organization. The motto of Arya Samaj is Konvanto Vishram Aryam, make the world noble. This was Swami's life goal. He said the Vedas are the scriptures of all true knowledge. Reading, teaching, hearing, and reciting the Vedas is the first duty of all Arya's noble people. This amazing individual was a philosopher, a social leader, and founder of the Arya Samaj. He was a sannyasi from boyhood and a done believer of the Vedas and a strong advocate of equal rights for women, such as the rights to education and reading of scriptures. His sterling contribution to the service to humanity, promotion of Vedic Dharma, powerful influence of the movement to free India, women rights activists, and prevention of abuse because of caste cannot be replaced. His legacy will live on forever. As we come together once again for the second time virtually to celebrate this great event of Rishi Bodh Utsav, are you personally being enlightened by the celebration of the enlightenment of Swami Dayanand? The real intention of Rishi Bodh Utsav is for us to use this opportunity to begin our enlightenment based on the experience and teachings of the Rishi. We must heed the profound message of the Swami and seek enlightenment as he did in order to walk the path of our Dharma. My dear devotees, in keeping with our theme today, Swami Dayanand taught us all that Dharma has no prejudice or partiality. It is imbued with truth and justice. So, we must at all times adhere to Dharma. We have to see that we never go against it. It is wrong to deviate from it. The path of Dharma requires people to give up hatred against others and cultivate mutual concord and amity. Through concord and amity, the world grows day by day into a place of happiness. If these are well established, the world will be free from disquiet, indiscipline, disorder, and injustice. Swami Dayanand lived his life as a reminder to us that whatever you are dealing with, you must first grasp its real meaning. Then you have to cultivate it daily for your benefit. By this means, wisdom grows and lasting joy is earned. The two basic underlying tenets are right way of living, known as Dharma, and action, known as Karma. The wise, who are impartially and unprejudiced, who are confirmed in Dharma, walk on the path of truth Satya as instructed in the Vedas. That is a path for everyone today. My dear friends, the knowledge of Dharma is reached as 3 stages. You must receive training under the wise people who are also imbued with Dharma. You must aspire to attain self-purification and truth, Satya, and you must realize the value of knowledge of the Vedas, the voice of God. When these are completed, then one understands the truth and how that is truth is to be separated from untruth. To this end, all will develop joy and happiness in equal measure. All have the same claim for spiritual wisdom and for the means of attaining it, like education. Therefore, all must do noble and pure deeds. You see, dharma and karma go hand in hand, and if nothing resonates with you today, I beseech you to reflect your thoughts, words, and deeds. Brothers and sisters of this great organization, it is time that we do some self-evaluation to determine whether we are Arya Samajis by name or whether we are Arya Samajis by good action propelled by the sanskar system of Rishi Dhanam. Are we Arya Samajis that we can boast of because of our dharma, that we practice every single day of our lives? Think about it. Swami taught all his life about contributing to the world. So I now ask you members of this Arya Pratinidhi Sabha, how can you use your unique talent to serve humanity? How can you help others? It is a simple matter of answering those questions and then putting them into practice. When your creative expression helps you, your fellow human beings, you are making full use of the law of Dharma and you experience perfect alignment within finite field of intelligence. When you put the law of Dharma into action, you aren't struggling, worried anymore. Instead, you start experience your life and as an ecstatic expression of divinity. An ancient Vedic sage described the natural unfolding of spirit in these beautiful words. I am the immeasurable potential of all that was, is, and will be. And my desire are like seeds left in the ground. They wait for the right season and then spontaneously manifest into beautiful flowers and mighty trees, into enchanted gardens and majestic forests. I will repeat this. Listen again carefully. An ancient Vedic sage described the natural unfolding of spirit in these beautiful words. I am the immeasurable potential of all that was, is, and will be. And my desire are like seeds left in the ground. They wait for the right season and then spontaneously manifest into beautiful flowers and mighty trees, into enchanted gardens and majestic forests. What happened to Rishi Swami Dayanand on Mahashivatri was only the beginning of his enlightenment. And although the quest continued for many painful years, he was never afraid to make the necessary adjustment. Enlightenment does not come all at once, but by constant process of learning and being able and willing to make the appropriate changes. He would have denounced any celebration to honor him, for he sought no praises of any kind. He would instead have been overjoyed to know that people are practicing the belief of Vedic Sanatana Dharma and the followers of the Arya Samaj movement, and observing the 10 principles of the Arya Samaj in thought, word, and deed, making them our motto and mantra for a proper and decent life. Today the world remembers him as a great Maharishi, an enlightened soul who sacrificed everything, trying to educate and deliver his people from spiritual, social, and economic bondage. We are all aware of the numerous reform and the impact his contribution had on the society as a whole during his journey for enlightenment. Swami Dayanand was indeed a fearless advocate of truth and Vedic wisdom. The time has come for all of us to use this opportunity to make some serious changes in our daily lives. Swami Dayanand sought to connect religion and society. For him, lofty values and ideals of religion are not only for chanting, but to transform society for a better future. With this mandate and the great challenges and struggles of the COVID-19 pandemic, the APS remains resolute in connecting religion and society by enhancing the delivery of service to the needy children of our schools and the wider community. Under my 10 years president, Dharma and Dharmic teaching is encouraged and must coexist amongst members and by extension through education in our 9 Vedic primary schools. The evolution of our Vedic primary schools did not happen by chance. Our founding fathers understood that education was one of the most vulnerable wealth they could give to their children and for the betterment of our communities and the society. One thing that was clear to the APS was that education for our nation was a greater priority than our own welfare. As a result, the APS of Trinidad made a decision with a huge sacrifice to construct schools and use our mandirs as places of learning and worship. Our humanitarian social outreach program to assist the most vulnerable children in our Vedic schools during this COVID-19 pandemic consisted of the distribution of over 200 ICT devices to students who could not afford a device for learning. This in itself is a perfect example of Dharma. Our selfless character to assist others is reflective by our approach to helping those who cannot help themselves, and a mandate given by the founder of the Arya Samaj. This Sabha continues its mission that is aligned to the vision of Swami Dayanand. I urge all of you to support the Sabha now more than ever. In conclusion, I want to leave by assisting you in discovering your Dharma. Despite all our daily challenges, here are the 5 paths you can take to find your true Dharma. You can adopt one or all of the following to take your first step on the path to your purpose. When you consciously take each step, the path itself will start to pull you forward in the right direction. Walking this path is not about success, but about harmony with yourself, your thoughts, your words, and in your actions. The 5 paths are the path of joy, the path of synchronicity, the path of letting go, the path of practice, the path of being. This will provide you with opportunities to align yourself with the cycles of nature, the energy of the universe, and the center of yourself, your being. It is my fervent wish that God will continue to bless all of you and your families with good health, peace, prosperity, and happiness. Ladies and gentlemen, members, principal, teachers, students, friends and family of this great organization, I bid you a pleasant namaste as we strive to make the world noble by speaking the truth and walking the path of Dharma. Thank you and namaste.
Thank you, sir, for giving us a well put together and suitably apt message for this occasion. We know being at the helm of this noble association is no easy task, yet you have our wholehearted support. Our next item is an instrumental on the keyboard. Isabel Ramdas is a pupil of Standard 2 and attends the Avocat Vedic School. She will perform to the song Chukar Mere Man Ko. Let's welcome her on stage, Isabel Ramdas. Isabel, you are indeed a brave young lady, especially not being to any formal classes for over a year. You have really done an excellent job. We wish you good luck in your musical journey. I now invite Ms. Leela Devkumar, who will present a small token of appreciation to Isabel. On behalf of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha, we would like to make a small token of appreciation to Isabel for her very entertaining performance this morning. Isabel, thank you very much, and we hope to hear and see more of you in the near future. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, children, we are indeed honored and fortunate to have a caliber of the gentleman who will be delivering our feature address today. Professor Dr. Ravi Prakash Arya is a world-renowned Vedic scholar, philologist, historian, and philosopher. He is widely traveled, and he has delivered more than 350 popular academic talks on the Vedas, Indian history, linguistics, philosophy, culture, and scientific Indian heritage. Around the world, he has also delivered more than a dozen radio and TV talk shows in Bharat, Canada, USA, Trinidad, Suriname, British Guyana, Holland, Hungary, Russia, Germany, Czech Republic, Austria, and also participated in more than 75 national and international conferences and seminars in India and abroad. He has convened 3 international conferences and 4 national conferences under the auspices of Indian Foundation for Vedic Science, and is also doing pioneering work for preserving and propagating universal and scientific Vedic heritage. He has so far produced around 64 research papers and 38 books. He's also editing, since 1999, a quarterly research journal, Vedic Science, dealing with the scientific interpretation of the Vedas and allied literature and ancient Indian traditions. He has also edited the annual World Vedic Calendar, which is circulated in more than 10 countries. Many accolades have been conferred to the professor, too numerous to mention. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pride and honor that we welcome our feature speaker for this morning, Professor Dr. Ravi Prakash Arya.
Let me come forward to greet all my fellow brothers of Trinidad and Tobago, brothers and sisters of Trinidad and Tobago, on this auspicious day of Mahashivaratri, which is the Enlightenment Day of Maharishi Dayananda Saraswati. I am also thankful to the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha of Trinidad and Tobago, its dynamic president Roshan Parashram, the secretary Kumari Vidya Ramachala, and officiating Parist Pandita Jasroda Rajbir Singh for inviting me on this auspicious occasion to say a few words on the theme Satyam Vada Dharmam Chara. Dear friends, in this country, after Mahabharata, we got the 2 personalities. One was born in 1800 BC, who got enlightenment, and another was born in 18th century AD who got enlightenment. Name of the one personality was Gautam Buddha. His time was 1877 BC. And another great personality was Maharishi Dayananda Saraswati. His time was 1800 or the 19th century AD. 1824 AD he was born and 1883 he died. During this period, as a child he was named as Mool Sankar, and he was having an inquisitive mind. Just like Gautam Buddha, had a setback when he saw a dead body, a aged person, elderly person, and a sick person. All these three events, accidents, moved him, and he went out to the forests. He left his married life and he did penances over there. Within 3 weeks of suffering, he got enlightenment, and he wanted to get rid of the suffering that the human beings are going to face in their lifetime. Somewhat similar thing happened here in Tankara in Bharata, where in Moravi district, where a small child, when he got disturbed by the death of his dear sister, cousin sister, and his uncle. On one day, he was attending the ceremonies or the rituals of Mahashivaratri along with his father. Everybody slept during the night hour, but this small child kept himself awake, and he was looking at that Shivalinga, and he found a rat was nibbling the offerings given on the Shivalinga, and he got disturbed. First of all, he was disturbed with the death of his cousin, sister, and the uncle. He thought he wanted to get rid of this cycle of the death and life. He was in search. In his mind, he was searching some relief from this type of suffering. Then he was told that the Almighty power is there, and He is causing the whole creation and decreation. And when he went to the temple in the name of the Almighty power, and he saw that even the rats are nibbling the offerings given to that Almighty power, he became highly disturbed, and this state of disturbance led him think that this cannot be the real God who can relieve him of the suffering of pain and pleasure, who can relieve him of the life and death, the cycle of life and death. And that small child, he decided to find out, to search the real Brahman, the real superpower, which can be helpful for him in getting relief from this cycle of life and death. He leaves his house. He abandons everything, his parents, and in search of the reality, in search of the truth, he roamed about the whole country, the entire Himalayan region. He met so many sannyasis, ascetics. He came to know about the yoga, and when he met Swami Vrijananda in Mathura, that blind scholar, grammarian. He taught him everything, Vedas and grammar, and he taught him that the real liberation is in the knowledge, Riti Jnanat Namukti. If a person fails to achieve knowledge, the right knowledge is the right thing to give the right direction to a human being to achieve moksha, to get rid of this cycle of life and death. And I am pleased to know that the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha of Trinidad and Tobago, they have a very precise and suitable theme for this day. And the theme is Satyam Vada Dharmam Chara. Actually, these two sentences, small, these 4 words are the bedrock of the Indian philosophy. These 4 words imbibe in them the whole philosophy of the life. The Purushartha, the objective of the human life, it has been described in the Vedas, in our scriptures. What is the Purushartha? Those objectives of human life. Those objectives are Dharma, Artha, Kam and Moksha. Moksha is the last one. So Dharma is the first one. Dharma is the preparatory one. It prepares the ground for you to get moksha and to pass through the age. Different ashramas. Brahmacharya ashram, Grihastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram and Sannyas ashram. All these 4 ashramas, they are different stages, the helping stages for you to attain moksha. That is the final liberation of a human being when he merges, when this individual soul merges with the Almighty Universal Soul, Brahman. Here comes, then emancipation comes or the moksha comes. This moksha has been described by various terms, by various scholars variously. Kaivalya, moksha, ananda, so many terms have been used in the Vedas. So dharmam chara, satyam vada, this is the ladder. This is the ladder just to reach to that highest goal. What is satya? Here the question arises, what is satya? Why we say satyam vada? Satya, generally we think just to speak truth is a satya. But satya here is at a spiritual level is a different thing, different from what we think and what we say, what we talk about. Satya means just to see, perceive the things in their actual forms. If you take something for another thing, that is not satya. For example, you are passing through a street during night, some rope is lying over there in the street, and you think rope for the snake. So that knowledge of snake into the rope, it is not a satya. That is a mithya knowledge. That is a satya knowledge. Similarly, the human soul, the individual soul, is a spiritual being, is a spiritual entity. But what happens? The human beings, they think that this body is soul, the mind is soul, and generally we say, I am doing it, I have got hurt. And when this body gets hurt, we generally say, I got hurt, because we associate ourselves with the body or with our mind. We forget that we are not this body or this mind, we are the spirit, the pure spirit. So, confusing the pure spirit with this body and mind is a mithya, is a asatya gyan, that is known as avidya. And considering the body in the soul in its real spirit, taking the soul in its real spirit or for its real spiritual form, that is Satya. So, the very meaning of these two words, Satyam Vada, means a human being must know that he is the spiritual being or the spiritual entity, is not the material entity. This body and mind are made up of a matter. So, the word when we apply I, we, I am that, I am this, it pertains to your soul, not to the body. And when you are a body, you will undergo the cycle of life and death, because the cycle of life and death is associated with this body and not the soul. Soul never dies, nor soul gets born, because soul is eternal. That is how this whole Indian thought is revolving round, and that great Dayananda, that Mool Shankar, he set out in search of that Satya. What Satya he found at the end? He found that he is the real spirit, he is the spirit and not the material being. So when you become body, or when you associate yourself with the mind or thought process, then the death is sure for you. But when you realize it, self-realization takes place, that you are not a body, you are a soul, then you get over the problems of life and death, and this pain and pleasure, feelings of the pain and pleasure, they are also associated with the body, because body feels pain, body feels pleasure through mind. So when a scholar realizes that he is not the body, he is the soul, he also gets rid of this pain and pleasure feelings. Now the next two words, dharmam chara. It's a great philosophy. Dharmam chara. If you want to get moksha, if you want to achieve the objective of your life, then you will have to follow dharma. What is dharma? Dharma is not a religion in the modern sense of term. It's not a mazhab. It's not some sect. Dharma, in Vedic words, dharma is those human values that uplift human beings. If those values are there in a human being, he will be known as a human being. If those values are taken out from that human being, he becomes as better as an animal being. So dharma is the set of moral and ethical values. All moral, ethical values, the duties of a human being towards himself, towards his family, towards his society, towards his nation, and towards this whole globe, that is also known as dharma. So, in Vedas, the Vedic philosophy, it never talks about the rights. It talks about your duties. Do your duty. Whatever duty is assigned to you. As a human being, you are to perform that duty. So dharma is duty. Dharma is set of moral and ethical values. Dharma is the knowledge system. That is why, while describing dharma, the Manu, the great lawmaker of the ancient world, in his book Manusmriti, he says, Dhriti kshama damu asteyam shaucham indriya nigraha dhira vidya satyam akrodho dashvam dharma lakshanam. These 10 things are known as dharma. Dhriti, just to have patience. Kshama, just to forgive others for their committing wrong to you. Damaha, have control of your mind and your sense organs so that they may not attach themselves to this mundane world, objects of the mundane world, but they may be fixed towards the internal system, that soul itself. So this asteya, non-stealing, shaucha, the purity of body, mind and soul, indriya nigraha, just to have a control of sense organs, the use of rational, one must use reasoning, rational and vidya, just to gather the knowledge of spirituality, knowledge of spirit and Brahman, that is known as Brahman, realization of Brahman and the realization of self, that is master. Knowledge, satya, akrodha, not to have anger, just to be away from the angerly feelings. So these all 10 things, they are known as dharma. If you follow these 10 things, in fact these all 10 things, they have been divided into 2 separate categories. One category is known in Yoga Darshan as yamas, and another category is known as niyamas. What is yamas? Yama means the social discipline, because a human being is a social being. As a human being, he lives in society. He interacts with other human beings in the society. While interacting with other human beings, how to behave, what should be your behavior, attitude, etiquettes towards other, that is known as a yama. And Patanjali says, the great philosopher Patanjali says, ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha, yamaha. These are requirement for a human being when he interact in the society. This ahimsa, non-violence. You are not to do any violent act with your speech, mind and action with anybody else in the society. You should be satya, truthful with your fellow beings. Asteya, you should not try to steal the property of others, copyrights of the others. Brahmacharya, you must observe salvation. And aparigraha, non-hoarding. You should not hoard the material things, necessities of life, which are not required for you or which have become excessive for you. You are not required to hoard them. Just you can do the hoarding of essential things which are required for you, and the things, the commodities that are required for others, if you are hoarding them, it means if you are violating the Vedic law, the yama. So these are the yamas. Similarly, there are 5 niyamas. Niyamas means self-discipline, and those niyamas are shaucha, santosha, tapa, swadhyaya, ishvara, pranidhanani. Shaucha, the purity of soul, body and mind. Santosh, contentment. You should be contented with what you have. Tapaha means just doing yoga. Pranayama, swadhyaya, study of the shastras, and Ishvara pranidhanani, meditation, prayer to the God, offering prayer to the God. So these are the self-discipline. A human being is required to discipline himself as well as to observe certain discipline required in the society, yama and niyam. Observation of yam and niyam is quite essential. And on that basis, these are known as dharma. That is why the seer says, Upanishadic seer says, dharmam chara. And when you will follow the dharma, when you will follow these yam and niyamas, when you will follow those moral and ethical values, when you will do your duties towards the society, towards your nation, towards your family and fellow beings, what will happen? Kanada, Vaisheshik scholar, says, Yato abhyudaya nisreya siddhi sadharma. What is dharma? What will be the reward of following dharma? He says, Yataha abhyudayaha. If you are going to follow the dharma, if you are going to follow the yam and the niyama, what will happen? Abhyudayaha. Your social advancement, social upliftment will take place. A person will become socially great. And nisraya siddhi. And ultimately he becomes fit and suitable to attain moksha, self-realization. He will be able to realize that he is not the body, he is not the mind, he is not the thought process, but he is a pure spirit. And after that he gets realization of a Brahman and he merges with Brahman, that is moksha. Similarly, in Mimamsa philosophy also, dharma has been defined. Mimamsa says, Chodana lakshano artho dharmaha, means the figurative meaning of the Vedas, that is dharma. And that is why it says, Vedo akhilo dharma moolam. Vedas are the source book of all knowledge, all duties, all moral and ethical values. So, that is why that Moola Shankara, the great Moola Shankara who became enlightened, who got enlightenment and became Swami Dayananda Saraswati, he told, time and again he told the masses, go back to the Vedas. If you want to have a bright future, you will have to look back to the Vedas. Vedas are the only knowledge that are capable to lead the humanity in right direction and help them in achieving the objectives of human life. With these words, I thank again all my brothers and sisters in Trinidad and Tobago who could give me a patience hearing. I must also thank Roshan Parashram, President of Arya Pratinidhi Sabha of Trinidad, and Kumari Vidya Ramachala, Secretary of the APS, and officiating priest Jasroda Rajbir Singh. And I thank you all. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have been given a rare treat, an exposition on the theme, Walking the Path of Truth and Dharma. Professor G's address has really generated interest and made us really proud to be part of a rich tradition. Thank you very much. Culture once again takes the spotlight, and we have a recitation of a poem to be done by Sravika Rambali on Swami Dayanand. She is a pupil of Standard 4 of the St. Clement's Vedic School. Let's welcome Sravika on stage.
No, marriage is not for me. Oh, ma, you see, I have come on a mission thus far. This life of mine must not be ordinary. My life must leave a as I go along. My guru must be wise and astute. My guru I will follow to find out the truth. Death I must overcome. To me, moths will surely come. Death I will call only when I am ready, and at times I will be chanting Gayatri. Yes, I have found it, that which I have been searching. For us, there will be no more suffering if we follow the Vedic teaching and live a life in austerity and discipline. Arise, awake, O man, and begin your search today. I know that you will be happy all the way. Never succumb to untruth. Be a lifelong learner. Be a soldier who guards the fruits of the Veda, the benefits of which you will reap forever.
A beautiful rendition indeed. Thank you very much, Sravika. To close with our curtain number, we will have two bhajans entitled Thirat Andhere and Pushpa Vaidik Vatika. This will be performed by Ms. Reshma Nanlal, a teacher of the Montrose Vedic School, accompanied on the dholak Pravin Pasad and on the dantal Pravir Pasad. Without further delay, I invite Ms. Nanlal to entertain us with this morning, Ms. Reshma.
Thank you.
Manifests in a physical
Prasad and on the harmonium. Thank you.
Pushpa
Thank you very much, Srimati Reshma Nanlal Maharaj, for your beautiful rendition of those bhajans. And also, thank you to your musicians accompanying you this morning on the dholak, Pravin Pasad, on the dantal, Pravir Pasad, and on the harmonium, Shri Brindra Bechan. I understand that it is your birthday today, sir. From all of us, happy birthday. And thank you for being with us. We have a small presentation to be made this morning on behalf of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha. I call upon the wife of the late Pandit Acharya Sukhdev Ramsamujji, Srimati Ramsamuj, who will make a small token on behalf of the APS to Srimati Reshma for her performance this morning. In closing, I must make special mention of the Ramsamuj family, especially Pandit Ravidin Ramsamuj, who has made the mandir and its facilities available to us. We thank you most sincerely and graciously for the upkeep and maintenance of these premises. It was a tall order to get done, and you have graciously consented. I thank you again on behalf of the APS, and wherever the Ramsamuj family may reside, we know their heart is with the APS and this mandir in Carolina, Trinidad. I now invite Srimati Colleen Mahadev, who will move our vote of thanks. Srimati Colleen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Namaste and a pleasant good day to all. On behalf of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha of Trinidad, I would like to extend gratitude to persons who contributed into making this Rishi Bodh Utsav 2021 celebration a successful one. Firstly, I would like to give praises to God for gracing us with this auspicious day to conduct Hawan and celebrate this year's Rishi Bodh Utsav. Thank you to Pandita Jasodhra Raghbir Singh for leading the Hawan, assisted by Pandit Jiwan Singh. Thank you to Sri Dharan Devkumar, Kumari Crystal Devkumar, and Sri Darshan Devkumar for performing the Hawan. Hearty thank you goes out to Sri Prakash Ramsamuj for cleaning of the mandir. Thank you to Srimati Pamela Ramachala, Srimati Rekha Singh, and Srimati Lesa Bechu for providing the refreshments. Thank you to Sri Rakesh Mahadev for sponsoring the drinks. To Srimati Rekha Singh and Srimati Lesa Bechu, we say many thanks for the parasad and sweets. Hearty thank you to Srimati Rekha Singh, Srimati Lesa Bechu, Sri Rakesh Mahadev, Sri Cyril Jadulal, and Sri Devindrant Jaglal for their hard work done with the decorations for today's Rishi Bodh Utsav. Thank you to Srimati Ramsamuj, wife of the late Acharya Pandit Sukhdev Ramsamuj, for lighting of the ceremonial Hawan. Thank you to Sri Brindra Bechan on the harmonium, Sri Pravinda Pasad on the dholak, and Sri Pravir Pasad on the dantal for accompanying Srimati Reshma Maharaj with her lovely bhajans today. Special thank you goes out to the Rishi Bodh Utsav Committee, chaired by Sri Rakesh Mahadev, comprised of Kumari Vidya Ramachala, Sri Roshan Parasram Singh, Pandita Jasodhra Raghbir Singh, Sri Rajesh Jagmohan, Srimati Rekha Singh, Srimati Pulo Sigulam, and Sri Dharan Devkumar. Without their hard work and dedication, today would not have been possible. Hearty thank you to you, the viewers and the listeners, for taking the time to tune in and view our program today. Thank you all once again on behalf of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha of Trinidad in celebrating the Rishi Bodh Utsav 2021. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Srimati Colleen Mahadev, for that very important task this morning. I now hand you over to Srimati Reshma Nanlal Maharaj and group, who will lead us in closing with the Arti Bhajan.
Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Swami Jai Jagadish Hare. Bhakta Janon Ki Sankat, Bhakta Janon Ki Sankat, Kshan mein dur kare. Om Jai Jagadish Hare.
Thank you very much, Srimati Reshma, for your closing bhajan. I now invite Pandit Jiwan Singh, who will lead in the Shanti part. Pandit.
Om Jao Shanti Rantarikshagam Shanti Prithvi Shanti Rapa Shanti Roshadheya Shanti Vanaspateya Shantir Vishvedeva Shantir Brahma Shanti Sarvagam Shanti Shanti Reva Shanti Sama Shanti Redi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste.